chilling out, plenty of food.
Oh yeah, I worked out yesterday, but this whole week I'm just doing really light, kind of like, I would say bodybuilding, but I'm not really. Next week is when I start actually like training again, and I'm planning on doing. I'm gonna do a meet later next year.
Nice.
Like probably maybe the showdown again, but maybe like hybrid or something. Because just go somewhere new. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing now is like, obviously I'm not doing local meets anymore, so it's just fun to go to different. Because before I couldn't with my work, because I'm in the Marines and I'm at a different station. Like I'm in a different location now. I'm in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And my old unit I was with, man, it was so hard to get time off work. So like I couldn't plan months in advance. So I couldn't say, hey, I'm going to this meet and have good peace of mind. So like that's why I always did local meets. But now I'm at the level where I want to go to bigger meets, not just for the competition, but it's just fun, The travel and stuff can be traveling adds a lot of moving parts, but luckily I don't cut weight. So it's not like I gotta worry about at weigh-ins, man, you see some of these people, they're just like like they cut 20 to 30 pounds, and I'm just like, man, I don't ever want to deal with that.
A lot of discussion. I don't know if you guys have seen it on the where did I see it? I can't remember. Maybe King of the Lifts. A lot of discussion around weigh-in, like 24-hour weigh-in versus 2-hour weigh-in. And I almost think a lot of these 24-hour weigh-in feds are kind of thinking, I'd love to go to 2-hour weigh-in because it would just save me bloody time and having to set up a day earlier. But then you'd negate all these records, because all these records would be sitting there with a 24-hour weigh, and then you suddenly go to a 2-hour weigh, and everyone's going to say, well, it's not an even playing field anymore. So, we've almost dug ourselves in too deep now with, all the feds, different weigh-ins.
Yeah, and it's weird because like you would think, it is nice having 24 hours to like mentally, relax and prepare. But a lot of people fuck it up, there's some people like, for instance, Joey Sullivan. That guy, like, I don't know what his original weight was, but he made weight at 220. And the day of the meet, he was like 250. It was like he looked like a different person. I saw him warming up for squats, and I'm just like, dude, you look like a fucking monster right now. So some people get it right, but those are the people who know what they're doing. But I'd say like 70% of people fuck it up because like you see what they do in training, and then on a meet, they either get like way shorter, or they're just not. They don't get what they think they're gonna get because like how people fuck up a water cut and your electrolytes and stuff are imbalanced. You get cramp, like plenty of people get cramps, and they can't perform like they want, among other things.
Yeah.
So, but
I think people fuck up a 2-hour weigh-in too, eh? So it's kind of like rock and a hard place, but they'll still try it. They'll still try and do a weight cut and try and knock out 10 pounds with a 2-hour weigh-in, and then they're going to fuck that up, aren't they? Because no way you're going to achieve that success.
Yeah, that's even trickier because you're like, it's day of, so there's not any room for error. You can't just you literally have like like you said, an hour or two. So like, what's the most if you heard someone cutting at like a high level for a 2-hour weigh-in? Like, I'm just
5 pounds, 6 pounds. What do you reckon, Jackson?
I have helped someone do 5 kilos, which is 11 pounds.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And that's when you can like, that's about the max. And that was a big dude, he was
okay.
He was like 110 going down to 105, so 240 going into like I don't know what's 105 is like 230 pounds sort of thing. So like it that, and then that helps as well because he's the bigger dude, so you're weighing in, you effectively get like a little bit more time. You get like 3 hours because the 2-hour rule is from the start of the meet. And if you're a dude, typically they're going to start with like
if you're a
56
heavyweight
girls. And so if you're going to be in flight C, you've effectively screwed the system and gotten 4 hours, like
pro tip there from Jackson.
Yeah.
Pro tip for the 2-hour weigh-in peeps. Be fat.
Yeah.
But,
hey, we should start things off properly. We should start things off. We keep missing our intros, Jackson. We start talking away. So welcome to the podcast.
We've already
everyone.
missed it, haven't we?
Doesn't matter. We'll still do it anyway. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We've got special guest today, Danny Grigsby on. So Danny, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Glad to be here.
Yep, so we've already started chatting now. So Danny, congratulations. You just did the showdown, biggest ever total, 960 kilos. Sorry, I haven't got the pounds on that one, but we can probably work that out mentally in our head. So yeah, massive lifts, 332.5 kilo squat.
2116.
187.5 bench and a 440 deadlift. You got an amazing deadlift.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, so I'll go a little breakdown quick. So for squat, hopefully I was looking to do like 350 kilos on my third. And I had it in me. Like I forgot how much kilos, but the 733, like it went up really fast and and that was my second. I skipped the third because all throughout prep, I've had problems with like shifting. So it's like I'll squat in the hole and it always happens at heavier weight. So warming up, it's like I can control it. And I don't know if it's a muscular imbalance or I go to the chiropractor and they say my sacrum's like always elevated. So maybe it could be that. But for some reason or another, it's like, and it's always to my left side. So 6 weeks out, I didn't tear my quad. I would say I like pulled it because of that. I was doing a set of 4 at 6 at like 290 or 295 kilos. First reps were good. And the last one I shifted and then it popped. And luckily I got the rep and it wasn't like something that would be on squat fails. But yeah, so that really had me worried because I didn't want to pop my quad again and then miss out on a big dead. So I left some weight on the squat. And sometimes you got to be smart because especially at big meets, dude, you're seeing guys like John Hack or someone like several weight classes lower than you, like squatting and benching more than you. Like it's kind of demoralizing at first. You're like, damn, like
you can't compare yourself to John Hack. The guy's a freak. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, John Hack's like insane, but yeah, so it took everything in me to not go for more, but I stopped there. And then bench, I just kept lifting my butt. And it was weird because all prep, never really had that problem. And I don't know. I don't think it might have been the height of the bench because normally I train on a bench that's higher or kind of higher. And with a higher bench, it's easier to sit your butt. Not easier, but like the higher it is, the easy, like the foot placement and stuff's different. So
yeah,
I think it might have been that. But yeah, because I opened with one. This is why I love kilos because I never really know how much it really is. But
175,
yeah, the 385, and then the 413. I both lifted my butt, and so I retook it on the third and got it. I basically just like did a Larson's press because I just relaxed, did like a flat back. I'm like, I'm not fucking this up because I'm not going to bomb out. But I definitely felt I had close to 200 kilos in me. Well, that's how strong my bench felt. And but it's good though, because sometimes even if it doesn't happen on the platform, you know you got stronger during a prep, you know? So I'm still gonna carry that into next year, which is nice because bench has always been hit and miss for me, but I'm really starting to find my groove with like, you know, placement, because I put my pinky on the ring now. And I used to be a lot wider, but I like pinky on the ring because I get a lot more power that way.
Yeah, King's grip, that's it.
Like wider, it's nice because you have shorter range of motion, but that's not the answer for everybody, you know? Like I wish it was that simple. I wish you could just go wide as fuck and that's, oh my God, this is all you need to do. But, and you see a lot of the super heavies, like they go like not incredibly close, but for their size, they're really close in. Like Thomas Davis, he did
716, which is like 325.
Oh yeah, and I think he was pinky on the ring.
Yeah,
so that dude's like got 150 pounds on me, and he has the same bench grip as I do. So that shows you that it's not just about the width of where your hands are. Same with Julian Maddox. You know, he's not that far. He's not as wide as he could be either. So everybody's different. And then with deads, I worked up to the heaviest lift I did in training was 950, and let's see. So I opened with 920. That was pretty easy. I went to the 970. 970, just my timing was really good. Because the thing is, with the way I pull, I got to be careful because if my hips shoot up, it'll still come off fast off the ground. But then at lockout, I won't be in a good position to like be up. Like I'm going to lose. Like I start to lose balance. And that's an issue with a lot of lifters, but especially because I'm so technical, like I could fight the weight and get it going. But if my hips are too high, I'll lock it out and be kind of like, I'll have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happened with the 1003 is like, I was a little nervous. It was my first time ever touching a grand. So obviously like and you're in front of a nice crowd. So yeah, but the strength was there. It was pretty humbling just to like, and obviously my grip was good. So I'm like, sweet, I can hold on to it. I just gotta, it's just a reps and positioning thing. So I take that moving forward. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy with the 970 because, like I said, I broke my record, and it sucked because I wanted to do a more tentative jump, but I had Jamal Brown in my flight, so you know, you had to competitor because you don't. Looking back now, it's easy to say, "Oh, I could have just gone 980, 990," but you don't know in the moment if he's going to get it. You know,
Yeah.
And obviously, you want to try to get
and like
want to get the heaviest devil of the meet.
Especially the way that you pull, Danny, is like you like it looks effortless, and so like you don't want to be that guy that's pulled like 990, and then people are like,
"Oh, it was 10 pounds away. Why didn't you do it?
Why didn't you just do 1,000?" Like, you don't want to fucking have to field those comments.
Yeah,
so.
People don't realize that those weights, like 10, 15 pounds, is it's a lot. You know, like you can't. It's not like warming up where you can take big ass jumps. Like once you get that close to your max, like every pound counts, and like 5 extra pounds could just totally throw you off or be a little too much, you know.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, what was that?
I was gonna say, and your deadlift. I was reading back on your socials. Your deadlift is a finely crafted piece of technique now. Eh?
Oh yeah, it took a while because, you know, like when I first started, I did conventional like everyone else, and then I think like 2-3 years in, I hurt my back because I used to, when I pulled conventional, I had like a cat back. I used to really let I had a lot of flexion in my back. Yeah. I didn't really understand packing the lats and like lat activation. So yeah, I mean, big surprise. I didn't hurt my back, but it was starting to get bad. So I tried sumo, and then within 6 months of trying sumo, it was like I was never going back. But even before sumo, and I said this in a post, and people are just like, oh, because in one of my posts I just did with the pictures, I was like, yeah, you know, deadlift's cool because you don't have to be the biggest guy, or like you don't have to have the most brute force to be good at it. And then everyone's like, oh, well, you're a hypocrite because you're big and stuff. And I'm like, in my head, I'm talking about 5-7 years ago when I was like 215, like not even 100 kilos, you know? So like, I mean, the best deadlifters, some of them are big, but the technique's always there. You can't, I mean, people can argue with conventional, you can kind of be a little more like aggressive and like muscle it. But even then, those guys, if they're not on point, you know, they're going to lose the weight. They're going to fall forward or fall backwards like I did, you know? Like, in my opinion, and this is funny because obviously deadlift's my lift, I think squats are like more of a true test of strength, because with squatting, it's just like, I don't know, like I get psyched for a squat just as much as I do a dead. Yeah. And like, and I don't want to downplay dead and be like, oh, it's all technique and it has nothing to do with muscle or strength. But like, I feel like squatting, you see a lot more guys squatting who are like pure strength and brute and raw, and they're just like manhandling weights. But with deadlift, I just don't feel like that's very common anymore. Like you got to be like your position of the bar, your shin angle, like your hips, all that. Like it's all got to be in the right spot. Like, and like you saw with 1,000, like I had the strength was there, but like because my hips rose, it was like it was hit and miss, you know. So like, that's
with squat, you've got it's life or death.
It's on your back, and with dead, it's like I don't even get that stressed out because like, what's the worst that can happen? I drop it.
You just fucking drop it, yeah.
I drop it in front of me and it falls on the ground. I mean, if you drop a squat, it's on your back and you gotta like try not to die. You know, like it's a whole different like. My adrenaline gets a lot higher when I squat because I'm just like, holy shit, like this is real life right now. I gotta like get this thing up or else. I mean, even with spotters, you know, like it's still a lot of but
they're not gonna invariably they're not gonna. Unless they're very, very quick with big weights on your back, they're not going to catch you in time. You're going to hurt yourself, you know, to some degree, you know? Yeah.
So.
That's hilarious that people are like, oh, you're a hypocrite for saying that technique matters because you're fucking jacked. And it's like, yeah, but he's jacked and has the technique. That's the fucking best of both worlds. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It's not like I just yanked the bar off the ground and like I said,
and it's like that's why you're fucking, I mean, the thing is that no one has pulled 1,000 pounds in a 3 lift, like raw.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like that's the first time anyone's been like that close. I mean, like obviously Andy Bolton pulled it, but that was equipped.
Did he do 1,000? He did 1,003, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He was the first man to pull 1,000. Yeah, but that was like back in I forget the year, but no, mid 2000s, and so that's like when multiply and stuff was all the business, you know. And he squatted 1,200, which is like 550, you know. So like it's fucking ludicrous, but no one's done it raw. You know, Benny did 460 raw, but that was
deadlift only, wasn't it?
Deadlift only, yeah. And there's obviously a bit of controversy surrounding like the plates.
Oh yeah, because I remember in the beginning when I first started powerlifting, I was like whatever, but because I've heard people say like the plates weren't calibrated and like I'm not voting for it. I'm not gonna tarnish anything, but yeah, I mean nowadays like you can't just go you can't do that nowadays. If I were to pull like if I were to chip his record with pound plates, like there's federations that still use pound plates. I could go there, I could do that, and like, but would that be like, you know, like I don't know if that'd be
what
a lot of people. That's obviously wouldn't be legit because it's not kilos, but like it's still possible to do that. But I don't get why federations still have pound plates. Like it just doesn't.
Well, like it's funny because like people like even when Thor pulled that 501 like strongman wise, and it's like he had a like the same judge as Eddie had, like he flew him out there, etc. They had Magnuson, and they took a video weighing all of their plates, like, and they were all Alicos, like it's like, and people are like, nah, it doesn't count, wasn't in comp. It's like so like he even used, so like you say, like you can't just go and do it somewhere like in the backyard. Like this was proof that like even with the best equipment and like a proper judge and stuff, people are like, nah, still backyard. It's in your gym. Fuck off. Doesn't count. So you literally have to like.
Oh yeah, that's a big reason why in the future I want to go to bigger comps is because like in the past, you know, a lot of like all-time records have been set at like backyard, like local meets, but then it's just like with a local meet, it's so there's a lot catered towards you because you're sleeping in your own bed, you drive 10 miles down the road, and of course if it's local, everybody knows you, everybody loves you. Everybody at the meet's going to cater towards you. The judges know you by name, so they're obviously like, if it's a close call, they're going to give it to you because like they're not going to. You're the local prodigy, right? So you're not going to get a red light, or else someone's going to choke them out. So like, you know,
yeah,
that's how it is sometimes. You know, sometimes it's not, but like, that's why I think it's fair nowadays. Like if you're going to set an all-time record, at least go to some. If you're untested, go to like, you know, Kern Showdown,
yeah.
Some like bigger meet where you gotta, I'm not saying you gotta travel halfway across the world, but like not in your backyard because it's not. I mean, and that's not exciting to me, you know.
There's enough of those meets popping up now. Like there's options. It's not like there's like one a year, like when there was like Raw Unity and it was like once a year and it was in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. You know, like whereas like now you've got the Kern, the Showdown, Hybrid, Ghost, etc. You've got all these meets that are like in all, especially in the States. I mean, they're sort of spread across the country a wee bit. You know?
Like
that's not hard to travel.
So many different higher meets out there. So there's really no excuse, and they're all throughout the year. It's not like, oh, they're only in the winter time or they're only in the summer. It's like every 3 to 4 months. It's like they're strategic now because they don't want to compete with each other, a lot of them. So every 3 to 4 months, there's like another like, so there's definitely plenty of like places to go if you want to like do something big, you know.
Do you so obviously I think a lot of that now is with that with WRPF doing that pro series, they want to like get, you know, lifters doing all of the meets. Is that something that you would look at, or do you like not like rap squats? Or
I mean, I just haven't in the past, I mean, I haven't done raps in years, but I think I'll definitely be better if I did it now, but it was kind of just I couldn't figure out how to get. I'm not saying you got to get 100 pounds out of raps, but if you don't get at least like 50 pounds, like you're going up against guys like I have a stronger raw squat than this guy, and he's smoking me because he just like he just knows how, like, I mean, some guys say your knees have to travel more forward to get more cork from it. I mean, there's all sorts of different opinions, but to an extent, you got to change something. Like I've heard when you go to raps, your squat slightly changes or your technique slightly. You have to figure out the best way to use them, and that takes time. And I would try for pockets a period of time. I mean, because I would want to. I spotted at the Kern in 2000, either, I don't remember, 2016, 2017. So I would love to go to the Kern one day. That's definitely on the bucket list. But yeah, I would definitely need to get confident enough in wraps. And then the thing with wraps too is there's a lot more variables. Just like I said, when you travel and weight cuts, like with wraps, you got to make sure you have someone who wraps you. You got to like make sure you do it at the right time. Like wait till there's like 2 people out and you start wrapping. The thing I like about sleeves is you're just like platform ready, cool. Let me just walk out there. Like it's just less stressful, you know. But I mean,
I think the key to getting adjusted to wraps is do single ply or multiply for a while. And then you'll appreciate how fucking easy wraps is. After spending half an hour trying to get into each of those suits.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it is just more. I mean, the off season, I might just every few workouts just play at light weights with them just to get comfortable with them, because it's just one of those things where you just got to use it. You just got to train with them. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I want to put these wraps on in like 2 workouts. I'm going to be good. Like, you know.
How have you found? If you're in the Marines and you travel around a bit, or are you fairly well stationed in single places and you get to train at the same gym every time, or do you have to move around?
So, yeah, my first few years I was at Camp Pendleton, which is in Southern California, so that was nice because it was sunny all year round. And actually, back then my training was really hard because we would do a lot of field training. Like when I say field training, like we go and do exercises where we like test out our gear, basically pretend like we're deployed. Like you're testing your capabilities, like communication, like transportation. I was utilities, so we would test our like equipment, because you always got to be ready for if you get the call.
Yep.
So back then there'd be like a month or 2 at a time sometimes where I wouldn't train. So there was a gym there, it's called Ironmongers, that I would go to. It was like 30 minutes from the base. But like I said, the consistency wasn't there. And then in 2018, I went to Australia for 6 months. So that whole year was fucked. Yeah, it was nice. I was up in Darwin. It was northern Australia.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have taken leave, because we had like leave. There's like pockets, like weeks at a time where they allowed people to leave if you wanted to like go and explore. But dude, like a plane ticket from North to South Australia was so like, I mean, obviously it makes you realize how big the country is, because like it was like 2,000, 2,500 for a ticket from like Darwin to Brisbane, or Darwin to like you know, all the major cities that people want to go to for touristy stuff.
Like, Sydney, Canberra,
stuff, you know?
Perth.
But yeah, that was a great time. And then now I'm in Washington DC, and it's definitely a lot better now because I'm with the world famous Body Bearers. We perform funerals at Arlington National Cemetery for
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great gig. But my trainings, I go to the same gym now. I go to a gym called DMV Iron. It's like 20 minutes from where I'm at, so it's perfect. Like, and we don't have to run as much at this other unit. Like when I was in Pendleton, we'd run 3-4 miles a day. So like at the end of the day, trying to squat or deadlift was like, I always do on the weekends, because there's no way. Like I ran 3-4 miles at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you do your whole day, and I eat enough and I drink, but then even still by the day, I would still be beat up.
I noticed every 4 or 5 posts, someone says, can I run and powerlift at the same time? So can I be a runner and a powerlifter?
There's a happy medium, because like when I was running 3 or 4 miles a day, my progress was for like 2-3 years, I didn't improve very much, because like my risk of injury was high, because like I said, trying to push my squat. Deadlift, I was kind of getting some progress, but squatting especially, I was not. And like I said, I was lucky, because once I left California and I came to the East Coast, now it's like a lot better. Like I said, not less running, my recovery's better. Yeah, you can only I mean, maybe if you're a beginner, you can kind of make some progress. Yeah, if I was still running 3-4 miles a day, I wouldn't be deadlifting 900 pounds or squatting. It's just not feasible, you know, because you got to focus on one skill. And I had an old sports coach who used to say that. He's like, yeah, you want to get stronger, you want to get faster, you want to get better endurance. You do one of those things, but you can't do them all, you know, like there's no, it's pretty unlikely you could do all those at a high level at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always get those posts and comments and messages like, oh man, I have to run 3-4 miles a day. What can I do? And I'm just like, man, do what you can, but it's just
pick one or the other.
Yeah. If I had to do that any longer, I probably would have got hurt, because after 3-4 years of that, I was just like, man, like my body feels great now. And I was a lot lighter back then. I was like in 240-ish, like 110 kilo. Yeah. I'm not saying I got fat once I came here, but like I just not having to, I still do like cardio. Like we still do our fitness tests, but they let us train on our own. So like once a week I'll do a 1-2 mile run just to like, so I still remember what it's like to run. And then like when we do our fitness test, I still pass pretty easily because it's max pull-ups, and we got to get 23 time sit-ups in 2 minutes. You got to get 100 sit-ups in 2 minutes and a 3-mile run.
How do you reckon you
The
go?
run fucking sucks, man. Like I get pumps in my shins when I run now because I'm so heavy. Like
Yeah,
like,
the run is like horrendous. I honestly can't imagine running 3 miles like that.
yeah,
That's disgusting. That's like 5Ks.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could listen to music because that's when I run. If I can listen to music, it's normally a lot. Like, it gets my mind right. But when you're running just like with a group of people without music, I just try to think about things in my head because if you think about how shitty it is, it just makes it worse.
It's like that just sounds like when the music like fucks up at the gym, you know, and like you just hear everyone's like heavy breathing and like no one's enjoying themselves.
And then every 10 seconds you're like, am I closer yet? No, I'm still
that was
like,
yeah, that was like 80 meters. I've got fucking
yeah, sweet. Still got 2 miles left. Fuck, okay.
Yeah, Danny, you talk a lot with because Ashton's in the military too, isn't he? He's in the Marines as well. Ashton Richter.
Yeah, he's Army, and
that's right.
He's working on his PhD. He's like, he's
crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'm enlisted, so just normal military, and then he's I think he's going to become a psychologist for Army personnel. That's why he's working. Because you need the PhD, I think. I haven't talked to him extensively, but like, I think he's getting the PhD so he could, in that capacity, be in the Army for the time being. But yeah, man, he's a monster. Like there's a gym an hour from me called the Shop Gym, and he goes to that gym, and I'll see him sometimes. I was like, dude, this guy does things that people don't do. Like any workout, he'll just do something, and you'll just be like, I've never seen that before. Like every weekend, he just does like. Sometimes he'll do like not mock meets, but he'll squat, bench, and deadlift on the weekend. And he totals over 2,000 like routinely. I'm just like,
I know.
I would break down and be in a wheelchair if I did that. Like he's crazy. He's a specimen. I'm excited for him in the future because he's definitely gonna keep gonna
keep killing it. Yeah, and I see you met Jimmy Kolb too. I saw a picture of you and Jimmy Kolb. We had Jimmy on the podcast.
Oh yeah. We met in Virginia because. Before DC, I was in Virginia for 6 months, and he was at that same spot. And yeah, he got out of the Marines and like 2 months later, I left Virginia. So I mean, he's awesome too. He's a fucking insane. Obviously, he's a great bencher, but yeah, man, he's the only guy I met in the Marines who's actually was like a powerlifter, like a legit powerlifter, like me, you know. Because there's a lot of dudes that say, "Oh, I powerlift," you know, like everybody says, "Yeah, I powerlift," but I don't, you know. I mean, I'm not saying it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you're a bodybuilder? Yeah, well, I don't compete. I mean, you could say I'm a bodybuilder, I don't compete.
We've had this discussion many times.
This is a hot topic.
This is a hot topic, yeah.
What's your take? What's your take?
For powerlifting and if you have to compete?
Yeah.
I think you do because like, obviously if you don't compete, that means either you don't pause your benches. Like there's a reason you don't compete because if you actually like, you know what I'm saying? Because the people who always say that, you see them squat or either their squats aren't low enough, they don't pause the benches, or their lockouts are soft as hell, you know? So that's why they don't compete. It's not because they don't want to compete. They know they can because the stuff won't get past.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it is tough putting yourself out there, especially in the beginning, you know? Like my first comp, it was like a local comp. And I squatted like 500, bench 275, and deadlifted 600. So it was like 15 something, you know, it wasn't insane. Like, oh, this dude's going to be the next phenom, you know, but like everybody starts somewhere, you know, because everybody's so worried about, oh, my first meet, I need to make a statement. I have to do something crazy. It's like, no, you just like, you show up, you do it, and then you just
turn up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, I mean, did you ever think that, like, so like, say you pull 600 pounds, that's like 275 kilos. Like, did you ever think that you would be close to being the first person to pull 1,000 raw
No,
in the
I'm
three
not.
lifts?
I wish I could tell you, yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's what I
I
mean.
knew
This is
all
the thing.
along. No,
Like,
because back in 2013 when I started powerlifting, like 800 pounds was like the benchmark for elite pull. It's crazy because it seemed like yesterday. Because I watched guys like Pete Rubish, Eric Lillibridge, even George. You remember George Lehman?
Yeah.
That
That's a
dude was
man
like,
dog.
yeah, dude. I see videos of him psyching himself up. I'm like, dude, that guy's insane. Like those guys, they were pulling high 8s, low 9s, but like in any weight class or even heavies, like if you got to at least 800 pounds, that was a good pull. So like, yeah, my original lifetime goal was just to pull 800. I'm not even kidding you, because I thought that would be the coolest thing, But like I said, it was like in that time that was impressive. In that time that was elite. And then fast forward even a few years, all of a sudden like everybody's pulling the 8s, and then it's like, okay, maybe because I did. So my first I did 600, and then my second or third week I broke 700. So like a year later I did 700, and then between 700 and 800 pounds it was rocky because I joined the Marines. So like literally for 3 years I was stuck at like 740, 750. A lot of it was because the running and stuff.
Yeah.
And I tell people that, and they're like, oh my god. But like I had less than 1,000 followers at that time, so no one knows back then that I wasn't improving that much. But so yeah, 600 to 700 was pretty easy. And then 700 to 800 took like 3.5 years because of certain things. And then 2.5 years ago, yeah, I broke 800 to meet, and I pulled 843 on my third. I think I took a fourth. Yeah, I did 843, and then the meet I did before the showdown a year and a half ago, I was like, okay, I'll just break 900, right? Just if I get 900, I'll be happy. And then I pulled 900 on my second. I was like, sweet. So I guess I'll just go for more. And I did 933 and then 948. So as I've evolved, it's kind of like your goals just kind of like your goals change in time, as you improve, you kind of like figure it out. Yeah. Cause 5 years ago, I was like, sweet, 800 pounds would be amazing. And then I broke 800. I was like, okay, maybe in a few years. Cause I've never like set too aggressive goals. I always set goals, but they're like, I try to be methodical and just like slowly build to them. But yeah, deadlift's definitely kind of blown up, just like, because once I hit 800, and then the next year I did 900. So it was just like weird. It went from like 600 to 700 easy, 700 to 800 took forever. And then within 2 years, I'm at where I'm at now from 800.
Yeah, you cracked the code.
Yeah, I mean, I do think gaining weight, this is tricky because everybody's different, but the weight has helped me because I weighed in at like 266 for this meet. That's like 120.
Yeah, 120, 121, something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Something like that. We got you.
Yeah. No, I have this app on my phone. It's like just gonna read it. It's like a kilo. It has like you can bar load, and then it just shows all the plates, and you can just like.
Yeah, I've got one of those apps too, Because my gym's in pounds, so I can never figure out what I'm lifting, so I need an app as well.
My buddy told me about that, and he was like, dude, stop like wasting forever just like trying to use a calculator. Just use that. But yeah, like because gaining weight, like especially bench, like as I've gained weight, my bench is really, because you have a more stable platform and your upper back and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And even for squat, but deadlift, there can be a point where you gain too much weight. Because if I were to gain another more than 10 pounds, if I get up to like, if I get close to 280, that'll probably be at the point where it might get hard for me to get down and actually get in the position that I want to get in. But going from 240-ish like I was a few years ago to now being 260s, it's definitely helped my leverages because, thicker back and my legs have gotten bigger too, but like I can wedge better because of my lats now because they're that much thicker. But like I said, you don't want to overdo it. That doesn't mean just bloat up to like insane like weight, but I think that's a big part of why my deadlift has kept improving so much. And like I said, squat has been inconsistent because of the running, but now, I mean, I had more in me in the 733, but next year I'll definitely make sure it like translates, I'm going to start getting body work done. I go to the chiro already, but Yeah, man, that's one of those weird things where it's like you think you know what's going on, but it could be something totally different. Like I think it's my sacrum. It could just be like, and sometimes too my glutes don't fire properly. Like one of my glutes is like firing more than the other.
Yeah,
So it could
I've
just
heard
be
of that. Yeah,
yeah, it could just be one of the glutes isn't firing and it caused me to shift, you know. So I'll figure it out whatever it is, because obviously I'm going to take it easy the next month or two and start building again. But yeah,
so
you know,
the showdown was a big meet. I'm just looking at all the 900 kilo totals, and looking over well over 20. So even on one day, there would have been like half the crowd there, half the participants achieved over 900 kilos, and you've got 7,000 kilo plus total. So definitely, you were a big meet, wasn't it, in terms of achievements?
oh yeah, I mean, I remember Joe Sullivan and Jordan Wong, their squat battle.
Yeah.
They broke like 3 world records in 5 minutes, just back. Or they broke 3 world records. I think it was Joey first, then Jordan, and then Joey again. So that was crazy. And then I was in the back room, but I was in the warm-up room, but I could see through the curtains when Thomas Davis. It's just crazy, man. He's got so much power off his chest. Like when he pressed the 716, that was just like, that was nuts. And then there's a lot of good female performances too, like
Christy.
Of course, like she shows up every meeting, just fucking
yeah,
she's right.
Yeah. In the heaviest, I think it was 636, heaviest deadlift ever.
288. That's fucking mad. Jeez. Dog.
Wow.
Heaviest deadlift ever by a girl.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Another PhD as well. So there's something about PhDs. I think I'm going to have to get myself a PhD. Maybe I'll get stronger.
Yeah, it might help bring your bitch up. I mean, that's one of the things though that people always say, like, oh, what's the easiest way to get stronger? And I'm like, get heavier, like gain some weight. If that wasn't a thing, then we wouldn't have weight classes. Like
exactly right. You know, that's probably the best way to put that, because like if weight didn't matter, then we would all just be in one little bubble. But obviously, like a dude who's my size compared to someone who's like 130, like I'm gonna have an advantage with my weight if I use it right, if I know how to utilize it. Yeah.
So what if John Heck adds another 50 pounds? What's he gonna lift after
that? Dude, he's jacked, man. He's got a 6-pack. He's not. I wouldn't get any weight.
He's not gonna get fat. No,
don't get fat anyway.
Yeah, I think. I don't know what his normal weight is, but I think he normally weighs like 215 or something.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing
that
like
he was 213, 215.
Yeah, he was like 215, 217. So that's like 96, 97. So he cut like 6 or 7 kilos to make it.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, people always put shit on the internet and stuff, but everyone's trying to make it to where John Hack goes up against Yuri Belkin, and that'd be cool. Obviously, people are going to argue, oh, John Hack's lighter, but he's lighter by like 10 pounds at best. I think Yuri normally weighs like 223 or 225.
Yeah. Yuri will lift in the 110s and the 242. Yeah,
he always lifts in the 110s, and he's like literally a few pounds over 220. So
yeah, that cracks me up.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to get out though, has he? I think he's been able to get his visas sorted this year, has he? Yuri?
No, yeah, because he was supposed to. I heard he was supposed to do the Kern early this year. But yeah, he got denied because the visa, and I don't know what his plans are. But yeah, I don't know what the situation, how it's going down in Russia. It's just weird because all over the world there's just like different things going on with. I mean, I've heard in Australia it's kind of bad. Like, I'm not gonna go into specifics because I'm not in a place to talk. But yeah, like a lot of people are asserting power in certain places, and you're just like, and it's funny because like. The last like 10, 20 years, we've had like swine flu. I remember Ebola. Ebola was wrapped in Africa. Nobody gave a shit because there was nothing in it for us. And now all of a sudden, this is like the craziest shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all that it dominates. It dominates social media, dominates the news. It's all It's everybody has a conversation about it at least once a week.
Oh yeah.
We've been in lockdown over here in New Zealand. Not more so where I am versus where Jackson is. He's out in the countryside basically. So, but here, where I am, the gyms have been closed for nearly 2 months now. So everyone's doing it pretty tough, and I don't want to say there's only, but there is only, I think, 1,000 odd cases in the whole country of 5 million. So, we're definitely, we have gone down the route of pretty extreme measures. But like I said, some of these gyms, businesses haven't been open for a couple of months, and geez, I haven't worked out for 2 months. I just thought, you just can't, I can't be bothered going for a walk. So it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. Like, and it's like you say, it's stuff. The whole international. I notice there's some countries that are like just opening up again now. Like internationally, there's been a lot of releases. Like Aussie reckon that they're going to open internationally into this year, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've got family in the UK that they're all opened up. They're traveling. They can head over to Europe, to Spain, whatever, when they want to. Only a short plane ride. So, yeah.
Nice.
Dude, the thing with like us in New Zealand is that we're so fucking far away from everything. Like, it's literally quicker to fly from London to like Madrid than it is for us to fly from like Auckland to Christchurch. It's like the same. It's like the same distance.
Madness, so yeah. So it's definitely taken it's dented the international. I mean, it's dented a lot of things, but powerlifting especially, it's taken a bit of a hit.
Yeah, even for stuff like IPF Worlds, like there's obviously certain countries where they wouldn't even have the opportunity if they wanted to go to that.
Yeah. US, the Virgin Islands did really well the IPF Worlds. I heard.
US Virgin Islands, yeah.
US Virgin Islands have dominated.
I mean, out of nowhere, who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought, eh? Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Can't remember, but anyway, US. I think they only have like, not to put it bluntly, but like only the people that went over from like USAPL were like in for a chance to win.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like they like increased their team points exponentially, like because I've got like those 6 people from USAPL, and now and they've all won so far. So it's but then they don't have the depth to win like best team or whatever. That's probably going to be France. But there's some pretty fucking crazy lifting going on for IPF Worlds. And I think actually obviously it won't be current when we release this, but I think Ashton is doing that Virginia Pro like today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw on Instagram. Yeah, he's doing that one. Yeah, I don't remember the last time he competed, but I think he'll do well. I mean, he's a consistent dude. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know who else is gonna be there, but yeah, that'll be good for him.
Well, I think that they lost most of their big name lifters because they went to Worlds, and then I know that Taylor pulled out. He hasn't said why, but he pulled out. So like I don't know if there'll be as much competition there as they thought there would be. Yeah.
No, I was talking with someone at the meet, and this is kind of a side topic, but because people always say like in the USAPL and at IPF Worlds, everybody always goes 9 for 9, or not everybody, but like they're more consistent with making most of their attempts. And in untested meets, or at least the higher ones, people ask why that's not a thing, and it's because money's on the line. Well, obviously a medal's on the line for IPF Worlds, but it's kind of like if you're in a position like John Hack and you can win like 10 or 20,000, like you might take a bigger jump, or you might alter what you might normally do, because it's like there's more. I don't want to say risk, but there's more on the line.
Did you did it affect your decision making too, your attempt selection?
Or are you talking about at the meet? So yeah, like I said a little bit ago, like it's a competition too, because like I said, when I did the 970, like as much as I wanted 1,000, honestly, like I would just be like Yuri Belkin and just keep chipping shit. But like when you have someone who's pushing you, I ended up winning like 650, which is cool. I didn't even know there was money for best deadlift, but yeah, when the competition or money's on the line and you're just like, damn, like I could do this, but then I don't know if he's gonna. Like I said, it's all hearsay until it happens, but you don't know if they're gonna make that crazy third attempt. So you either gotta go with them, or you're just gonna like have to settle for where you're at. Yeah, it was like And I thought Jamal had a good chance to do it too. So it's not like the dude's obviously pulled over 1,000 numerous times in training with straps or just whatever. So yeah, he definitely had a huge shot at it. So it's not like he's going out on a whim. Like, this guy has the capabilities to pull this weight. So like,
yeah. He skipped his third squat. What was going on there?
I think his abductor. He said his abductor was bothering him. I mean, it seemed like so many people. Can I see so many recaps? Like, so many people from this meet had like lingering issues with like injuries or like pulled or teared muscles. Like I said, I had my leg within a week. It was fine, the quad, but yeah, he had his abductor, and then I don't know. I see so many people just like, yeah, I did great. You know, I went through so much adversity, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, it sounds like me, you know, like we're all like, I think it's been quite a common story the last couple of years, isn't it? You know, it's been tough for a lot of people for many, many reasons, but it's obviously, it's reflected in their performances, you know. And I think Christy tore her bicep. Was that the same bicep she hurt like a few months ago? Well, I think she tore her tricep.
Oh, it was a tricep age. Okay.
Yeah, no, you gotta pair them together, right? I don't know if it was the same arm, but because I think it was a second attempt. She did the 600. Yeah, afterwards, apparently she was just like, yeah, I think I tore it. Like, all just calm, just like not even freaking out, just like, yeah, I think I tore it. Like, that was the top. So like,
tough lady.
I'm just imagining, if you lock it out and then it happens, your natural reaction is going to be to like how are you just going to just naturally keep when your bicep tears, how are you going to keep the tension in your hand enough to like pull on the way? I can't even imagine. I've never experienced an injury like that, and I hope to God I never do. But
we had Matt Jackson, we got a mate over here, last deadlift, and you watch the video and the bicep, you can see it rip and then roll up into the shoulder. But he didn't let go. This is Mad Mike.
Yeah,
that's gutsy, man. That's when you know you got heart. You know,
he didn't let go. Yeah, good on him. Yeah,
yeah. Like I did reverse grip in the beginning, my first few years, but I was starting to kind of do what's called like kind of helicopter. Like, my inside arm, it would always kind of rotate out, and I was starting to get I never tore it, but I was starting to get tightness in my bicep. So that's ultimately why I tried hook grip. So just like I tried sumo because my sloppy ass conventional was hurting my back, I ended up doing hook grip because I was having issues with the bicep. Just at the top, I would just feel tension, and I didn't know, like, I just didn't want to try hook grip to see. So obviously, you're more symmetrical and you're straighter. I mean, I've never heard of someone. I don't know if you could tear something doing hook grip like this or this, but never heard of it happening. At least not commonly.
Jackson, you hook grip as well, don't you?
I had a play. I got it up to I mean, it was still 30 kilos, so like, what's that, 60, like almost 60 or 70 pounds behind my like mixed grip. But I've mixed gripped for 11 years. You know what I mean? Like, so it'll take a while to get back into it. Yeah.
No, it probably took me 6 to 8 months for my thumbs to kind of tolerate it. Because I was tearing constantly left and right like most people. And then I did hook grip before, like in high school with Olympic lifts for football. So I did some but obviously it was between 200 and 300 pounds. It wasn't like
900.
It's totally different with a deadlift bar that's like a cheese grater to your finger. You know, it's really just it's great for grip, but it's for hook grip. It sucks if that bar rolls in your hand. I mean, it's just gonna be worth it. Yeah. So there's a learning curve. I mean, it's different for everybody, but once and after a while too, the nerves in your thumb, I'm not saying they go dormant, but it becomes tolerable. Like, you feel it, but you don't, kind of thing. Like, because I remember in the beginning, my thumbs would always kind of be painful and hurt. And after like a year or two, I just started to realize it just felt normal. Like, it didn't. The weight
only took a year or two. Everyone's thinking, "Oh fuck, really? Are you?" It's not 3 or 4 sessions.
You feel the weight, but it just doesn't. It's not like bothering you because it's so painful. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you tape your thumbs at all or not?
No, I tried that in the beginning, but then I found out that you couldn't do that. You couldn't do it in comp, and so I would just not do it. Anything over 3 reps, I just put straps on.
Yeah.
And it sucks because with straps, it's like tricky sometimes. Like, I feel like my form's kind of off. I don't know, maybe because with hook grip, my hand's more relaxed. And I've tried I tried figure eight straps, but I think they were like size too small. So it was really just, my wrist was like stuck to the bar. Like they were definitely too small because I would like try to loop them and my hand would get stuck just trying to put them through. And then when I get them to the bar, it felt like it rolled my wrist because they're so like tight to the bar.
Yeah.
Because with a lot of types of straps, I feel like I grab the bar too hard, or I'm just like, I'm too tense in my hands. And part of why I feel like I'm good at with deadlifting, at least with my grip, is like I hold it, but it's not like this. It's like I'm more relaxed. I'm just kind of like, I put enough pressure to keep my thumb in place, but I'm not squeezing the bar. I'm not tensed up. And the more tense you are, like your arms start to bend, and then and especially at heavier weights, like the more relaxed you can keep your arms, the heavier weights, it kind of pulls your arms down. So it helps. It can help with range of motion to a point. It's not going to take three inches off your range of motion. But I like to stay as relaxed as I can in like my arms and hands. You grab the bar, but all this, I try to keep it as relaxed as possible. And with straps, I tend to be like really, I'll like grab the bar. When I go to pull, I just feel like I'm more tense. So it's kind of frustrating. But
what's your training split look like? You know, what's a typical week look like?
So I squat twice a week, I did squat twice a week for a while. Right now, I just I squat once a week, bench twice a week. So I do like obviously a heavier, lighter day, and then deadlift. Like I tried deadlifting twice a week for like I think like a month. It didn't last long because I was just like, yeah, maybe I could be like Jamal and a lot of these guys, you know, deadlift like 2-3 times a week. I mean, no, it's not.
No.
Either
you got to you can or you can't.
Yeah, and plus, especially because of how wide I am, like my hips never feel beat up. And when I deadlifted twice a week, when I tried deadlifting twice a week, especially with sumo, I just felt my hips and groin were just taking a beating. So yeah, that experiment did not last long, but yeah, and that seems kind of common sense, but you know, you got to try new things. You know, you never really know. Like people
say, it might work for you, it might not. You know, but you know, yeah, you try it. You don't know.
I mean, most of the time for heavyweight guys or heavier guys, yeah, deadlifting once a week is what you should do. But I always like to try new things when and if I can, just curiosity. You know, you never know what might click and what might be beneficial. I used to bench once a week, and then I started benching twice a week, and obviously that's also common sense too. Like obviously, a lot of people recommend more frequency on bench, and so yeah, like squatting twice a week was not too bad, but I did that for most of meet prep, but then I just cut it out a month out. I think squatting once a week's fine. I mean, I think in the beginning with beginners, maybe that would make sense. Like with light enough weight, the frequency of the lifts, because you're trying to hardwire that technique and that efficiency, you know. But as you get more advanced with some people, it just makes sense to not cut back completely, but cut back enough to where, because that's the hardest thing is the stronger you get, recovery is like the biggest factor. Like, can you recover from each workout and not feel beat up and feel tight and like wound up? And that's the hard thing too, is on my off days, just want to sit on my ass and watch Netflix, but I know I got to roll out. I got to like keep myself limber, because if not, you know, I know I'm going to feel like not going to perform well the next training day, whatever it is, squat, bench, and deadlift. So
for this last meet, Danny, you had a few months off, didn't you? And then you only started prepping a few weeks out. Have I got that right?
Oh yeah. So I came to Washington, DC last July, and I'm on the world famous Bodybuilders, but I had to go through the school first, and the school, it's self-paced. So there's no, you start, but then there's no end date. Like it's up to you as an individual, and just obviously you proving to the instructors that you're proficient in the funerals and the training and stuff. And it took me 9.5 months. It was brutal. It was tough.
What's involved? I'm curious.
So every morning at drill, we start off like our warm up. This is a warm up. Is we do 3 sets of 20 pull-ups and 3 sets of 20 bicep curls, one with 150 pounds. So it's like a 35 on each side. And in between each set, we're in a parking garage, like a musty, dark parking garage, like lower level. And we jog to this, say it's like 20, 30 yards away. It's like, it's kind of the end of the parking garage. We jog there and back between every set. So you're doing a set of pull-ups, and then you jog, come back, and you're not just you're jogging, but a lot of times you're like almost sprinting. It just depends on the day, like what the pace is like. So yeah, it's like that was tough. And then at drill, we'll practice funeral sequences, you know, whatever kind of funerals we need to practice. And then, you know, we do things such as sled pushes. We'll get a pair of 45-pound plates. We call them suitcase carries. Just do that, test your grip, man. Like my grip got really strong because you're just carrying 45-pound plates like 50 yards and back or more. And yeah, just do a lot of stuff for your arms and shoulders. We just utilize plate like a 45-pound plate. So just do plate curls. It's like you're all in one, right? Like it's like you're all in one home workout. And yeah, it took me 9 months just because I was really I'm really clumsy. Like I know that probably comes as a surprise. Well, you saw it on my last deadlift. I ate shit, but the drill we do is very slow and methodical. Like when we march and stuff. So if you don't have great balance, it's kind of hard. And I've realized too, I have pretty wide feet. I'm not Bigfoot or anything, but I wear size 12. And for years I wore really tight shoes that really crammed my feet. So because I was trying to figure out why is my balance suck. And I realized it's because my feet were so close together for all those years that the muscles of my feet weren't really like working. So I started like, I got, what do you call it? Like spacers for the feet just to open up my toes. Once I strengthened my toes, then I was able to control. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, like people always say like a lot of shoes are not good for your feet because they cram your feet in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
You want to have enough dispersion between your feet so that your foot is stable and it's strong. And so, yeah, like I had to work on that.
A lot of coaches will get you squatting barefooted as well, just to teach you how to, distribute your weight properly. And
you don't realize how big of a deal this is till it like affects you in some way. Like I said, it affected me in the job I do now. And yeah, so I did that for 9.5 months. And then I graduated this April. So I had about 2 months. So 2 months to get back in shape and kind of try to get ready. It was tough. I mean, at first I was like, maybe I knew I had a shot to break my all-time record, but I was like, it might be there, it might not. But I wanted to do the showdown because I've never done a big meet before. So I kind of like, I literally said I was going to do it like right as I graduated in April. So I was like, fuck, like I got to get training now. You know, I got to try to get in shape and do this. And I was honestly happy, even though it didn't, like I said, squat and bench didn't go as I planned, but I got stronger. I mean, my squat on a whole, every lift got stronger, whether it reflected the meet or not. So it was still a win. And it was still cool, the experience of going to a meet like that, you know, and the people you meet and like the relationships. Yeah, that's the coolest part is like a lot of these people you only see on Instagram, like you go in there and you actually get to meet them face to face. You put a face to a name. That was the best part. Like going to weigh-ins and you just start shooting the shit with people and you get to know people.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have talked about the camaraderie that's at a powerlifting meet. We've obviously compared in the past, Jackson, with bodybuilding meets or bodybuilding shows, not quite the same thing. Whereas powerlifting, at least people will cheer you on and will be right there in the thick of it when you're doing your third attempts, whatever, cheering you on. Whereas the bodybuilders will be looking at you from behind a curtain going, I hope he fucking falls over, you know.
That cunt's got small calves. Fuck
exactly, yeah. What a shit tan. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him though. Is that ever appealed to you, Danny? I mean, like you're a pretty jacked motherfucker. Has bodybuilding ever appealed or?
I mean, in the very beginning, like when I was 19, 20, it kind of did. But then it's just like, what turned me off is just, I mean, every sport is subjective in some way, but bodybuilding, it's like one of the most subjective things out there, you know, like, because I'll see like, you know, I go on YouTube or Instagram and I'll see, the Arnold, the Olympia. And it's just like, there's so many different opinions because everybody has their own preference of what they like, you know, there's no, I mean, at least in powerlifting, it's like, okay, there is sometimes judges botches calls, but at least there's like common ground of, okay, a squat, you got to get below the hip crease, bench, you got to like there's pretty common ground rules for the most part. Like I said, sometimes those rules get skewed and misconstrued in a lot of cases, you know, like, but in bodybuilding, yeah, like that. If you're doing bodybuilding, you got to do it for yourself. I mean, I do powerlifting for myself, but like in a competition aspect, it's probably kind of depressing because you could show up and completely destroy look way better than someone, but the judge is just like, no, I like that guy better. Not because any rules are written or anything, just like, oh, my opinion, I like that guy better.
Yeah, he's done his time. You know, he's been here. Yeah, he's been here every comp for the last 3 years. You've just turned up, so you can do
yeah, this guy's made it. You know, this guy's like the who's who. So you gotta step.
He's got a prettier face. Exactly. He's more marketable. Yeah.
That's the main thing. I mean, yeah, I do. Even though I do powerlifting, I do accessories, and I do like to like be in shape and stuff. So I still kind of have elements of that in there. But yeah, I'll never I don't think I'll ever compete. You know.
Yeah. Who's your coach, Danny?
Yeah, my coach is Casey Romero. She's in Florida, Tampa, Florida. Yeah, I've been with her for a year, and she's pretty good. She just has a good way. She's really smart with like controlling like recovery and stuff. So like if a workout's heavier than it should have been, we'll adjust, and like it's not like it's like RPE, but it's she'll give me weights, but also RPE. So I have the weights. So I'm like, okay, hopefully I'll work up to around this weight for this sets. But if not, then it's RP 7. Okay, you know, and it's still so new to me, so it's hard sometimes for me to like. Sometimes I gotta ask her, like, honestly, what do you think it is? Because like, you gotta be really in tune with your body to do something like that RPE scale, you know? Because like everybody's different with how much they can grind reps, what their speed looks like. So like with me, like the 970, some people are like, that's RPE 6. I'm like, no, that was like a 9, bro. That was not. I did not have
yeah.
like.
I mean, it's quite subjective. It depends on how you feel on the day, because an RPE 9 one day could be an RPE 6 another day, and it could be exactly the same weight. You know, it just depends on.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you don't get sleep, if you're dehydrated, I'm at work all day and I didn't eat enough food. I mean, all that stuff can affect me. So in that sense, I do like it, because you can still feel like you kind of stuck to the workout, even if the weight. Instead of 650, I did 620, but I stuck to the RPE. So I'm like, okay, I still am on pace. I'm still like, you know, because yeah, predominantly I did just linear periodization most of the years, powerlifting, and there's still elements of that in there, but yeah, this is something new, and that's like I told you before, I'm down to try new things, you know, because even I've been powerlifting for 6-7 years, but even now I'm still trying to think, oh, what can I do better? What maybe I should try this, you know, like if you become closed-minded and just think you know it all, like that's when you're done. That's when you already lost, you know, because you gotta just keep adapting and keep figuring out, okay, what works, what doesn't, like how can I get better, you know? Because for years, the few years that I was stuck at 750, even my other lifts were stuck too, is because I was just training the same way I always trained, and I didn't try to change anything, change my form, or figure out, oh, what are really my weaknesses, you know? I was just like kind of going through the motions, and then eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I can't. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna keep getting the same result if I don't figure something out. You know, you gotta be critical in like how you do things. Like I've been stuck in the same way for 2 years. Like obviously something's not working. So what is it? Like you know? Yeah.
So do you live like on base at the moment, or do you have your own place? Like, so what do you do food wise? What's that look like?
Yeah, so right now I live off base, and mostly, luckily, right below my apartment is a grocery store, but it's kind of an expensive. You wouldn't know the name of it. It's called Harrison Teeter, but it's more of an upscale. It's not overly expensive, but it's not like Walmart or something. So I usually
like organic. Is it organics and organic food and all that kind of flash stuff, or
yeah,
free range,
they're more like
grass fed.
That's what I hate is like if it's organic, bump it up like $10, right?
Yeah, it's got the organic word in it. Yeah,
usually how it is. Like, and I've heard the term. I feel like organic can be. People think just because something says organic, it means it's like. I heard the process for becoming an organic food in the grocery store is not that hard. Like, all you got to do is like slightly alter your process of farming, and you could say it's organic. So like,
yeah.
I'm kind of hit and miss on like, oh, should I get organic beef or should I? I'm not going to get everything organic. So
I crack up when I read stuff that says like, oh, organic cashews or like organic beef. I'm like, of course it's
already organic.
It's already organic. Yeah. It's fucking growing. Like, of course it's organic.
Yeah.
Over here, I mean, I know in the US, you know, grass-fed beef is the thing. Over here, I mean, it's all we have is grass fed. It's all the cows. It's all we have is grass.
You
So
guys just normal, like
grass fed beef is just like, that's beef, bro. That's just normal cow.
yeah, I mean, in America, there's a lot of people cut corners, like especially like, I mean, I've seen videos like it kind of shook me a little bit. Like a lot of chicken farms, they'll just like keep them cooped up in like a 2x4 foot cage, and they just throw food at, like they live a shitty life. And then they say like the stress hormones are so high in a lot of these animals, it affects the quality of the meat when it comes time to slaughter them. So yeah, I mean, grass fed, like, I mean, I'm looking to, in the future, I'm going to try to see if I can get like either a sponsorship or just like something with like a meat company. Cause dude, that would be the dream. Cause like meat's the one thing that like, cause I predominantly eat red meat, like 90, 10 lean beef or steak. I mean, I love salmon too, though. I make some salmon sometimes, but yeah, normally I just, well, for breakfast, I'll have eggs and oatmeal. This is a basic breakfast.
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, I'll have like a couple meals of beef and rice or steak and rice. And then I usually have like a nighttime like meal replacement shake, just because at night, like, well, with my job and stuff, I work till 4 or 5 and then I work out. So like if I eat too solid of a meal before bed, it kind of messes with me. So, and it's hard though, because a lot of meal replacement shakes, man, they're just filled with fillers and sugar and stuff. So I try to find ones that are not like that, you know, ones that are more, because a lot of them now they're starting to make it to where it's like a blend of like oats and actual carbs and protein sources, like ground up.
Yeah. So,
because yeah, back in the day, you go to GNC and it's just like they'd have a mass gainer that would be like 2,000 calories per serving, but it would just be like 200-300 grams of sugar and just all this crap, and you know, it wasn't healthy whatsoever. You just shit it right out. It would not.
I remember, I think, was it mutant mass or something like that? I had a mutant mass, I had a big fucking tub of it, and every shake was like 1,000 calories, and you had to chew your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's you feel like absolute dog shit. And
a
serving is like 4 shovels, and you're like,
yeah.
all right, fuck it. Oh, the bank's gonna last me like a week. Fuck.
Yeah, I think it took me an hour to get through it. Then I think at the shits for 3 hours every day after that as well. So
and the worst part with these meal things is like you said, you take 3 to 4 shovels of scoops, and then like you got to get like a supersized shaker, because it's so thick and viscous that like, especially if you have milk, you need to get like a 30-40 ounce shaker or get a mixer or what's called blender, because it's so thick. So you're just shaking it and it's still in clumps, and I'm just like, like you said, I guess I'm gonna have to eat this because like it's not gonna
chew your way through it. Yeah, unless we just, I think many people have just gotten on to the Blaine Sumner approach and just chucked all their food in their chicken breast.
I see him do that. I'm just like, bro, like, how do you stomach that? Like, how? I don't know how you can make that. Like, it can work. Obviously, he does it, but
that's all he ate. He did like eight shakes a day at one stage. Yeah. 8 shakes a day.
The things we do, the things we do to put weight on.
That's fucked. Like it's like 200 grams. So like, I don't know what that's like, what, 12 ounces or something of chicken every fucking shake, plus like a sweet potato, like in every shake. So like that's a thick shake, you know. There's nothing that's not going down that easily.
No, exactly. Yeah, you almost got to open up your throat and just chug it down. Yeah.
I don't know. I might try that once just to see what the hell it's like, but I probably
we should
have my trash can right there in case I throw up, because I don't.
I had a mate here who was like super lazy when it came to like food, but he was fucking jacked, just ridiculous. And he would blend oats and mints.
Oh no!
And drink it, just because he was that lazy. I was like, dude, why don't you just, like, he loves sleep, so it was like, he'd just, fuck it, I'll just blend this instead of like getting up 10 minutes earlier to cook it and just eat it.
Just eat it, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he'd fucking blend mints and oats with no flavoring to mask it.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
No. Yeah.
So Danny, how do we we'll wrap things up? How do people find you on the social media?
Oh yeah. So
We'll get in touch with you to talk about how to run and squat at the same time.
oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. No, people can ask. My Instagram is Dan_Griggs. It's funny because people like when people meet you and they only know your Instagram, like, well, I have it in my subtitle, but people can't read sometimes. They're just like, "Hey Dan," or "Hey Dan Griggs," and I'm like, "I'm Danny Grigsby, but thanks, man." It's all the same, you know. But yeah, I just have Instagram. I might start a YouTube channel in the future. I don't know, but this seems I don't know. It seems like a lot of work, but kind of like the editing and stuff. But for now, I just have Instagram. Yeah. So.
Nice. Hey man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I wish you all the best for the future. Can't wait to see you again at the next meet. Maybe the Kern, You think maybe the Kern?
Kern or the hybrid at this
Or the
point.
hybrid? Yeah.
Yeah, just because I want to have enough time off to like you said earlier, I don't want to compete multiple times a year because then your risk of injury goes up. And especially with my military, at least for the next 2 years while I'm still in the military, I just like doing it once a year because it's kind of like I look forward to it too. If it's once a year, it's like more like, okay, I got one competition, I prepare for this one meet, let's put all my energy into it.
Right. No,
so yeah,
exactly.
Next winters I'll compete again, hopefully this hybrid.
Excellent. All right, my friend. Nice. Thank you very much for coming on. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
It was great talking to you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, bro.